Yeah, thank you very much. I'll start with our salutation, which is Sat Sri Akal. The God alone is true. And in this August gathering, it's an opportunity for me to say a few words from the point of view of Sikhism, which is the youngest religion founded in 1469, but as per the statistics, which everyone knows how far they are true or wrong, it, it is counted as fifth number, fifth largest religion of the world. That apart, what I was thinking with the name, the designation or the nomenclature of the conference, Religion for Peace, it's a very, very debatable whether the religion is the cause of peace or the cause of otherwise. Because whenever we see anything, this comes in between. The basic thing, what we see as per our philosophy is very simple, that there are two things. One is a crime and another is a sin. Now, killing somebody, outraging the modesty of anybody, looting somebody, hurting somebody, injuring somebody, murdering somebody is not a sin, it is a crime. And the state can control it, the state can contain it with its power. But prior to committing these crimes, there is one thing, the one person does all these things vicariously in his own mind. He enjoys those crimes and criminal activities. Now, this activity is not crime. The state cannot do anything about it. It is sin. Only the moral training, morality, spirituality, religion, whatever you may call it, that can contain it, that can control it. If a person is not a sinner, he cannot be a criminal. So if we have to eliminate criminality, we have to become sinless. But as it is said, there was a young girl, after listening to religious sermons, she went to the person and said, "Father, I never knew what the sin is till I met you." So this is a double-edged sword, that religion and sin and crime. It reminds me of a very good anecdote. There was a British tourist. He went to jungles of Africa, and at lunchtime he pulled his lunch bag and a bottle of beer and he was enjoying it. And the guide, who was a local person, he took out the Bible and started reading it. Now this tourist, he told him, "Gentlemen, the book which you are carrying, this has become even obsolete even in our own country." That guide told him that you are saved because of this book only. Had this book not with me, I don't know whether the lion would have killed you or not, but I would certainly have eaten you. So this is the power of the religion, becoming a sinless society, which makes it. And at the end, what I would definitely like to say, we all along our life, we hear so many sermons, so many lectures and everything we hear. And at the end, there does not seem that there is the difference. But when it comes to practical things, we become absolutely opposite. Our actions, our deeds, and our sermons do not coordinate. We speak of unity. We talk of unity. We hold the conferences of unity. But at the end, I think, at the end of our mind, it is the unification, not the unity. So I think if we have to have the unity, then the word from which I started, that Sat Sri Akal, that He alone is the creator and rest everything is creation. Anything you hear, anything you listen, anything you visualize, anything you see, that is His creation. We have to love the creation to reach the Creator. That is the end. And at the end, I'm really thankful for the organizers to giving me opportunity to say a few words. And I was also very pleased to have in our gathering, this August gathering, Native American Patricia. Although the name itself is not that old, the faith it seems to be. Anyway, everyone, I'm thankful, grateful to you all, and wishing everyone of this world, everything of the universe, not of this universe, but all the universes, because it's a timeless, it's a limitless, there is no limit. Wishing you all a very good future. Thank you very much.